This week, we're taking a look at an impressive volleyball team, and we're previewing this weekend's big game between Georgia and South Carolina.
41 NBC's Dustin Wilson joins us now with more.
That's right, guys. The FPD girls team was the first volleyball program in Macon. Other schools followed later. Now in year 2, FPD is working hard to learn a sport that's fairly uncommon in the Peach State. Football is king, but the Lady Vikings want Middle Georgia to get to know volleyball.
I didn't like running very much, and so it was the first year of volleyball, and I was like, oh, I'll just try it, and I just really liked it, so I just stuck with it.
FPD sophomore Olivia Taylor found out quickly that cross country wasn't her thing, so she decided to try out for volleyball. Now she's a captain and one of the leading players in year 2 of the program.
If I feel like they can be pushed a little bit harder, I try to, encourage them and push them a little bit harder.
Katrina Hegman coaches the girls and has the task of creating a program from scratch.
It's taken breaking it down to the basics. We've had to learn the fundamentals of volleyball. It's taken a lot of patience and a lot of discipline and hard work on these girls' parts.
Even though organized volleyball is relatively new to Middle Georgia, the FPD girls want to change that by forming their own winning tradition.
What's different, it's cool to be able to say, I play volleyball, when everybody's like, no way.
It's fun for the girls, but the head coach pushes the team to get better.
We run the mile, not that the mile has anything to do with necessarily the game of volleyball, but just to teach them discipline, to teach them to try to beat their time, to try to get to the next level.
So Olivia Taylor has to run a little bit, but she's okay with that and looks forward to new challenges.
Just like playing different teams and kind of experiencing, kind of getting used to the UGAapos and just getting better.
Bulldog Bites is brought to you by Sanford Insurance.
The Bulldogs are coming off a tough loss against Boise State last week, but there's no time to mope around. The South Carolina Gamecocks loom just around the corner. Here's what head coach Mark Richt has to say about UGA's first SEC matchup in this week's Bulldog Bites.
Oh, it's a big deal. We've never won the Eastern Division without winning this game, so we know that history has shown over at least the last 10 years that in order to win the East, it's imperative to win this game.
Coach Richt says his defense has a tough task this week in limiting SC's offensive playmakers.
You can't hardly think about them without thinking about Marcus Lattimore and Alshon Jeffrey, the two, maybe the two best players of their position in the country.
The Bulldog offense must find ways to score on a very athletic Carolina D.
Very powerful guys, guys that are very big up front, and just a ton of experience in the perimeter. Our linebacking core is a little bit younger, but on the front end and the back end, very, very strong.
Rick says execution is key to victory on Saturday.
The little things that make the difference in winning and losing, we've got to do better, and we'll be working hard at practice all week to get that done.
The Bulldogs kickoff is at 4:30 on Saturday, and tonight here on 41 NBC, we're kicking off the NFL season with a big game between the New Orleans Saints and the Green Bay Packers.